Good morning. That's the way to start it, Gladiator Guru. Drinking that cup of coffee at Viva Cafe con Leche. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the show. It is Tuesday. Good morning, and we are in the beginning of the Christmas shopping holiday or whatever holiday you celebrate. We're in the beginning. So we started. So good morning. I am the Badass Buddha, Lori Monaco, coming to you from Southern Connecticut, where the sun was peeking out before, and it was just so beautiful against my face. And now it just, I don't know where the hell it went. So that's the way it is in the wintertime in the Northeast. So good morning, everyone. Welcome to Viva Cafe con Leche. I am your chiropractic physician, your weight loss specialist, your now published author. I am, what else am I? A coach specializing in mindfulness practice and transformation. And I teach workshops as well. Hi.
Good morning. Good morning. Buenos días. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, here it is still dark, as it is 5 a.m. Pacific time. So good morning, buenos días, mi gente, aquí con la Margarita, your gladiator guru. Good morning, badass.
Good morning.
Good morning. And this just, what am I? I'm tired.
Mm-hmm.
I am so happy just to be talking today's subject. I am your wordsmith, your lover of love, your tree hugger. I am your sacred healer, your end-of-life doula, your artist, your author, La Margarita. Buenos días, and welcome to Viva Cafe con Leche, which is what I feel like I'm drinking. I got a drop of creamer, and it feels like it took over the whole coffee part.
Really? Why? Is it just not like a strong cup of coffee? Is that what it is?
It should have been, but
well, good morning, everyone.
It's not.
So, how did everyone do for Thanksgiving?
Yes, happy Tuesday after Thanksgiving. How are the bellies? How are the overeating? You know what? I didn't overeat. I had one meal.
I didn't overeat either. Yeah, I didn't overeat either. How you doing? Good morning to Tiffany, Brian, Melissa, Moran, Milagros, Medina. Good morning. And we want to thank all of you too, because those that are on stepped up and they purchased the book, and we're so thrilled about that. And you know what's interesting, Gladiator Guru, is one of the authors, Charisse, texted me last night, and she said that she has a friend of hers went to go put a review into Amazon. And they put the review in, they put the stars, and then they typed in the review. They put 5 stars, and Amazon recorded it as 3 stars. And then when I went to go look, I couldn't even find the review anyway. It was very bizarre. So we're going to have to check out why that is. There should be no reason for that. So we'll see what happens.
Good morning, Erica.
Yes. Hola.
Well, we were talking yesterday about the reviews, and it seemed like a lot. But we knew it should have been more. So I'm glad this was brought to your attention, because we'll think, oh, this is all that wrote. And I'm sure many people wrote reviews on this. So, but thank you, Charisse, for even pointing that out.
Yeah, I'm glad that they caught that. I'm trying to share this. Why is this just not? I'm telling you, Facebook is just too busy trying to change their name and all that stuff. So
they're changing it again?
Yeah, they're going to, I forgot what it's called. They already started advertising it. But I can't seem to.
What are they changing it to? The government's going to control your life and we're a part of it?
Oh, be careful. We're on their platform. We don't want to piss them off because they'll just,
Milagros,
you know,
buenos días.
listen, it's okay to be a scammer, but if you speak your truth and what you believe in and just write what you believe in to your friends, you're not allowed to do that. But you could scam people. It's all right.
Unbelievable.
So,
Unbelievable.
good morning. Has everybody started? I'm sorry, I'm so preoccupied with this, but I'm trying to get more
So
people
how
to.
many, okay, keep going. So
No, I'm
how
done.
many that are signed on today have read anything in her badass story? That would be interesting to know.
I know Tiffany had said she sent the message saying that she had read it or was reading it, and that. So I know she did. What would she put? She put, "Had a much needed getaway and enjoyed just reading my book." Oh, fabulous! Thank you so much for that. It'd be so nice when it's the actual hard copy, the physical book. So that was just
Mhm.
the ebook. It doesn't aesthetically look as nice, but when you actually get the book, the book is a little bit more money. I believe it's $16.95, but it's pretty. It's a pretty book, and it has our pictures on the back. And Bridget Williams, Great Rising Queen. Good morning.
Great rising.
So,
Bridget just posted a week ago, I think, this beautiful pearl necklace that she came out with. I gotta get it.
yeah,
It's
I
beautiful.
was thinking about that, Gladiator Guru. We didn't do our small business brag. We didn't. That was one of the things that was on the agenda to talk about, and we totally forgot about it, which we could still do. It's not like we can't. We just won't be able to have as many on. But we could actually start at December 1st, and we just have it go until.
Honey, there is nothing we cannot do.
Absolutely.
Nothing. So, yes.
Absolutely.
December 1st is when? Wednesday, right? Tomorrow?
Right. So December 2nd. So, Bridget, if you're on, if you would like to grab the last 5 minutes of Thursday's show, just type in the comment section and then maybe just have some pieces that you can show within that 5 minutes. Or actually, you know what, Gladiator Guru, I was thinking about this, that maybe we should actually have the brag at the beginning, because this way we know people are watching. Most people tend to come on in the beginning and don't necessarily stay to the end. So we could do it that way. Would that be a better choice?
Anything's good as long as they have the opportunity to come on.
Okay, so she
I
said
mean,
absolutely. So Bridget, when we're done, I will send you the link for Thursday's show. We do have a guest on that show, so let's have you come on first. So jump on at 8. We'll have you sitting in the back in the green room, and then we will have you come on, and we'll give you 5 minutes. And in fact, we could cut away part of our little commentary first thing, and then this way the guest still has their time to say what they need to say, which actually works out lovely, because our guest on Thursday, the show is Hit It Up Style, and we have a style coach. Basically, she helps people determine their style and then dress for success. So that would be a really nice way to start. We have Bridget's, showing her stuff, her fabulous stuff. And make sure to, Bridget, that when you log in, there's a private chat, and just put in your information, like all the ways for everybody to get in touch with you, whether it's through a website or an email or any type of social media. So be ready to be able to copy and paste those into the private chat. And then we'll be able to put that up into a banner and also into the comments section. So we'll get going with Bridget, and then we'll make an announcement on the page. So anybody out there, if you are selling something and you want to be considered in the small business brag, it'll be, you get 5 minutes to sell your stuff. You have to be ready to go. You have to have all your information, your contact information, so people can reach you. And we'll get rocking and rolling on this. Nothing like putting this together live online, right?
that's it. That's how wonderful things begin. Start with Bridget. Thursday. Yes, yay.
Okay.
We're the pretty one, Bridget, the one I mentioned the other day. I want to see how it looks on. That was
So
beautiful.
she wants the pearls. I want to make sure I got everybody. Good morning. Milagros, I put in there.
Tiffany Bryan just bought one. She says she wants. There's two more she saw that she liked. She can't. Girl, wear it. Wear it to Walmart. I do.
Yes, she does. Yes, she does. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
All
So
right.
that's
So
excellent. Excellent.
look at Bridget. See, this is the way we roll, Bridget. We got to get, we got to look out for ourselves. We got to take it, and so everybody did so Black Friday, Saturday was a small business, and then Monday was Cyber Monday, which now everything's cyber anyway. So I don't even know if the deals were necessarily better on Monday or Friday. I don't know.
When I don't even pay attention to none of that.
So,
There's
but
absolutely nothing out there I need to buy.
Well, for other people, I give money to my older kids, but the little one, I was doing my online shopping for the little one because she's still a baby. But but support your small businesses. This is they're the ones that got hit the hardest over the last couple of years. So they're the ones that need the support. The big box stores like Walmart and Target, they were allowed to stay open, and they made a hell of a lot of money in 2020 and through a good portion of 2021. So some more support your small businesses. And we encourage those of you out there that if you have a small business or if you know somebody that has a small business, tell them if you know the person or if it's yours, just message us Viva Cafe in our we could get messages in Viva, right? I think so. You could throw us a message on Instagram, which would be a Viva message, or you can message us directly, either Margarita or myself, and give us like a little blurb, give us a little picture. Don't make us have to make it though. Like, put it together yourself on Canva and just sort of advertise yourself and write what you want us to say. And we will post it on the Facebook page, and we could post it on Instagram. So make sure that you do that. Look, good morning, Tata Rodriguez. She's saying good morning to you,
Good
Margie.
morning, Tata.
Right. All right. Does that sound good? Because today what's our conversation today, Gladiator Guru?
Conversation today. If I had my life to live over,
right,
what would I do? I hope I said that correctly. I'm sitting here trying to write the last part of it. If I had my life if you had your life to live over, which is Erma Bombeck, and we'll say I really have nothing to change. Would that be your first reaction, badass? Nothing. I wouldn't be who I am if I would change anything, right?
That's a hard answer.
That's our first.
It depends on my day. It depends on how I'm feeling. There are moments where I would love to have another chance to relive, but with the idea that I'm going back with the mindset I have now. So yes, it's a catch-22. You can't be where you are today had you not experienced the things that you experienced, But I always, what I always wanted to do was be like Groundhog's Day. Remember that movie Groundhog Day where he just kept reliving and but he remembered everything. That I would love that. I would love to just keep reliving just to fix certain things and then, go from there. But, well, you want to read her poem and then we'll talk about that.
So someone asked me the other day if I had my life to live over, would I change anything? My answer was no, but then I thought about it and changed my mind. If I had my life to live over again, I would have waxed less and listened more. Instead of wishing away 9 months of pregnancy and complaining about the shadow over my feet, I'd have cherished every minute of it and realized that the wonderment growing inside me was to be my only chance in life to assist God in a miracle. I would have never insisted the car windows be rolled up on a summer day because my hair had just been teased and sprayed. I would have invited friends over to dinner even if the carpet was stained and the sofa faded. I would have eaten more popcorn in the good living room and worried less about the dirt in the fireplace. I would have taken the time to listen to my grandfather ramble about his youth. I would have burnt the pink candle that was sculpted like a rose before it melted while being stored. How many of us did that? I would have sat cross legged on the lawn with my children and never worried about grass stains. I would have cried and laughed less while watching television and more while watching real life. I would have shared more of the responsibility carried by my husband, which I took for granted. I would have eaten less cottage cheese and more ice cream. I would have never bought anything just because it was practical, wouldn't show soil, and guaranteed to last a lifetime. When my child kissed me impetuously, I would never have said, later, now go get washed up for dinner. There would have been more I love yous, more I'm sorry's, more I'm listenings, but mostly, given another shot at life, I would seize every minute of it, look at it and really see it, try it on, live it, exhaust it, and never give the minute back until there was nothing left of it. Erma Bombeck.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
I
know why
love
that makes
that.
me want to cry.
So I think the idea of is if I had my life to live over, the goal is to not regret, because that's what it is. It's if you have regret. And so the story here is that we have to, it's okay to look back. It's okay to review. It's okay to look to consider the things that you could have, should have, would have done, or would have done differently, right? But we can't go back and we can't live in that moment. But to know to know to make changes, to know where we need to go, we do have to know where we've been. We have to know where we came from. So this is a beautiful poem, first off, and then second of all, it's great for this time of the year, because this time of the year is about reflecting upon the year. But in this case, though, we're talking about reflecting upon the years, reflecting on all of your years, and going back and looking at, what you've accomplished, what you didn't, what you like rose to the occasion with, and what you fell short with. And it's not too late to change. Irma Bombeck, I think she wrote this one, right, when once she had been diagnosed with her cancer. And you know that's sometimes when people do reflect. It's when they're diagnosed with something horrible, and they think, oh my god, I could have, I wish I'd done this. You can't erase it. We can't go back and look at things that we've screwed up on, and but we can make amends for things. We can make the effort now, like I've heard this before from parents, where the parents were just too busy. They were working, they weren't there for their kids, and they've gotten into adulthood, where their children got into adulthood, where the parent was feeling bad about it, that they were saying, I never really got a chance to hang out. But then hang out with them now, let them know, tell them how you feel, even if it's not received. And sometimes it might not be received well, because there might be resentment from the child, from the child that was to the adult that is now. But still say, I want to be here, and make the effort and show them. Don't just say the words, like make the effort, be there for your grandkids or whatever. Good morning, Ruthie. Yay, Ruthie. Um, so what do you think, Gladiator Guru?
I think the only time it's ever too late to make amends or to to show up is when you're dead. Other than that, every day that you rise up, there's an opportunity to do something different that will have a ripple effect not only on your life but those around you that you're making the change with and for. I think believing that there's always time for something makes you waste time. You just got to get up and do it. Just get up.
That's the truth.
If you're
That is the
thinking
truth.
about somebody, reach out, call them, email them, FaceTime them, pop up like slut magic and say, hey, I was thinking about you, missed you today, or I've been thinking about you. There's some things we need to talk. Whatever it is, just show up, whichever way, shape, or form that you can. In the moment you're thinking about it, because you know, life is too short. We've heard about it. How many funerals have you been to? How many deaths have you heard of? How many people have you sat across with a drink, whether it's coffee, water, or alcohol, that holds so much what ifs? What if I called? What if I showed up? What if I just said how I felt? That put that in your back pocket and just go and react on it. Because you know what, there's nothing more beautiful than when you might be feeling a certain way. Can you imagine the emptiness that other person is feeling? And they keep shoving it down. Just pop up. If you have somebody you miss, reach out. If you haven't seen somebody, show up. If you have something that you have to clean up, go and clean it up. So you won't have to look back in hindsight and said, I shoulda, coulda, woulda. Because the worst thing to live in is seasonal sadness, is to live in sorrow, to live in guilt, to live in the, I hope I did this right, or I loved enough, or I forgave enough. That's the worst moments that you can be living.
Right,
So,
and you have to do it with no expectation. Remember
no.
that,
Oh,
it's free will. A person can decide if you're working if what you need to take care of has to do with the person can decide whether they wanna receive it or not. So, you can't go in there, expecting, if you're trying to make amends for something, you can't expect the other person to be o wi arms wide open. In fact, sometimes you might actually open a can of worms and they might not be very appreciative of it at all, that you brought it up, that they didn't want to ever be reminded of it again. You also have to be mindful of that. Like that's the awareness that needs to be present within you too, is that if by you reaching out to somebody to help yourself, is it also going to help them, or is it going to make the situation worse? That's another piece of it too. Because sometimes honoring other people means that you also need to just rectify things on your own and not necessarily bring up stuff. But we're also talking, it's not just about people, we're talking about doing things. If I had to live my life over, did you do enough? Did you travel enough? Did you live enough? Like as simple as leaving the windows open, but you didn't want to put the windows open because you didn't want to mess up your hair. How many times have we done stuff like that? How many times have we I mean, I when she said that one line about my kids kissing me, and then I said, okay, later, or just go wash up. I catch myself doing that sometimes where I'm in the middle of something and my little one, who's a big hugger, she loves to hug. And she's always asking me for a hug, which I love. But there's sometimes where I'm like, okay, yeah, yeah, okay. And I'll be like, oh my God. And she calls me out on it, which I love. She's like, oh, dang. And then I'm like, good for her for calling me out on that, because there could be a moment in time where she doesn't ask me anymore. And then I will be like, I miss that. I miss that piece. Gladiator Guru, I've got to let you run the show for just 5 minutes because my little one needs me to walk her out today to the bus. So
okay. Yeah, I'm going to talk a little bit about expectations that you brought up because that was a good one. Um, when you do anything with expectation, you're not doing it from the heart. So when you do something like Tiffany Bryan, yeah, you never know how you can touch a person's life by just reaching out. Now, the badass Buddha said they might not want it. That's not your business. I think that when you're doing something from the heart and you are reaching out, apologizing or whatever it is you're doing, you do it. It's really, if you don't do it because of how that person may react, that's where we're in a mess that we're in now. Um, as a human race, not just socially. I think people worry too much about how the reaction of someone is. It's not, and they might react all hard because vulnerability is still viewed as a sign of weakness to people instead of really for what it is, a sign of courage and strength, which I recently learned. So I think that if you're going to reach out to somebody that you miss or you love and you want to ask forgiveness, just do it and don't have expectations of how they should react because you took the first step. They might not embrace it at first, doesn't mean it should stop you because that's clearing up you. That's you doing your part in this world, really. Just saying, hey, I'm reaching out. I thought of you or whatever. Just do it. I think life is too short, again, for the shoulda, coulda, woulda. And it's not your responsibility to worry or assume how someone else is going to react by you doing what you're doing. Just do it. I think everybody wants to hear, I've missed you and I'm sorry. Um, can we have a conversation, just clarity? I think even though they may seem angry at first, everyone would enjoy that moment in their life. So if you're the one reaching out, meet at a local place, coffee shop. If it's over the phone, make sure none of these are busy so that there's no interruptions. Don't do anything through text. There's so many things in text that can be read wrong, misunderstood. It's always taken out of context. But yeah, so if I had my life to live over, what would you do? What's the one thing you would change? Who would you apologize to? Who would you forgive? Would you do of more okay than trying to be right? I was guilty of that for years. Um, always have your point to get across. There's so many things. If I had my life to live over, what's one I can give before the Buddha comes? Yeah, I think I'm gonna agree with Bridget and Ruthie. Pay more attention to learning how to handle money, how to save, how to put aside for this, and make sure that no matter how many bills I had or anything, I still had a savings account. Um, that carries you a long way. But again, it's never too late to learn, to get somebody to talk to you about those things. I think it's too late when you just give up on yourself. And here we don't give up on ourselves. So if you have your life to live over, pay more attention to your life, should be one of them. Your life. If you pay more attention to this, then you can see everybody with clarity. Anybody agree? No? There's nobody in? If I had, I love, thank you, Lily and Tiffany. I love confrontation, and people look at that when they say that as though that I want to be arguing with somebody. I think that's how you understand somebody better. You're reading their body language. Sometimes people can't form into words what they're feeling, but you can read it on their face. And although their words might sound a bit harsh, their face is saying, I just want to be hugged, or please forgive me, or I'm in pain right now. So face to face is always my favorite. It's always my go to when I'm dealing with anybody. So I think that's how you better understand. And you know how much courage it takes for the one apologizing to initiate that type of contact? Because you are fearful that now that you're ready, what if they're not? But that should still not keep you from doing what you got to do. I think the biggest courageous act you can do is admit to yourself that you need to handle something. And then the second step would be reaching out so that you can agree to clear that. Yay, she's back.
How'd you do? You did fine without me. Yes?
Yes.
Even though you're a
Yeah, and
little
to cry
quiet.
like a baby, like a step. Sometimes, let me tell you something. I love to see my people cry. No, right, Lillian? It's just now that I've enjoying it, she's not crying as much. But I think the raw emotions are beautiful, and don't lose that to pacify anybody who doesn't like it. Stephanie, Tiffany's, yeah, that was never good. Good that she did. That's what she missed a lot of moments being afraid to speak up, but not anymore. Okay, Buddha, but you're saying
So how do we rectify that? Here's the deal. Like, this is the time, again, we said earlier about reflection, and I apologize if I repeat something that you were saying because I was out and I didn't know what you said. So, this is not the time of year to get so caught up in the hustle and bustle of the holidays, that because this is what happens, that we use it to distract ourselves from what is. And so we get into this mode and we start thinking about shopping and buying presents and getting everybody together for the holidays and planning. And then and we are, it's like we're right in the moment and we're enjoying ourselves. And then we get to the end of the year and we, or let's say we get after Christmas, between Christmas and New Year's, and we're sort of in this really kind of weird place, but sometimes people are still on vacations, they're still doing stuff. And then we like hold out till New Year's Eve and it's fun. And then New Year's Day, maybe you have a celebration. And then all of a sudden, January 2nd, people just sort of kind of crash. They came back from vacation. Maybe they had a few days off. They go back to work. And then all of a sudden there's nothing in January. Well, except my birthday, but there's no holidays really in January that's a celebratory thing. We have Martin Luther King Day, but what I'm saying is like that get together kind of holiday. And then the bills come in, the reality sets in of how much people spent over the holidays. And there's this lull where people say, oh, I want to do this for the new year. I want to make these changes. But all of a sudden it's here. And then we have the potential to fail when we get into January because we failed to really deal with it in December. So if you want, if you are going to use that comment, if I had my life to live over, what changes would you make? And if you say, well, I would do this a little bit more, that a little more, then become aware of that in December and start acting upon it, not just in January, but started in December. So if you say, well, I wish I gave a little bit more, like I didn't need to buy this, and this. I could have donated it to this. Today's Giving Tuesday. Today's the day to donate. I'm a board member for a wonderful nonprofit organization called Journal of Hope, and it's out of Connecticut. We've had Diana on here, the founder. I think once or twice we've had her on, and it's that's a great charity to donate to, right? So this is think about those things now. Take the time to reflect on them now before you start getting yourself all sidetracked by the holiday season coming up. If you have not put your tree up yet and you're trimming your tree and you're going to be doing that, think about that. Think about what you would have done differently. I'm going to give myself as an example. I've always been a very big Christmassy person. Like I love Christmas. I love the decorations. I love the music. I love all that stuff. Right. But the last 2 years, I have not been into it at all. Like last year, I didn't put up the tree at all. It was like my kids did it, and I couldn't be bothered. Right. The same feeling for this year. I'm just not into it. I'm not into like putting it up, decorating it, nothing. And I don't like that because that's not me. And my little one keeps asking, we're going to put the tree up. We're going to put the tree up. And my nephew's in town visiting and his girlfriend comes in today. So I said, well, let's all do it together. And even though I kind of still really don't want to, I'm going to do it with them, and I'm going to take pictures, and I'm going to make videos of it, because I could just sit there and say, I don't feel like it. And then next thing you know, how many years pass? And then I look back and say, God, I wish they were all here. Like, I wish we had done it together. I wish that I took more time. I don't want to do that. So that's what I'm going to do today. That's going to be the start of my moving forward of, if I have my life to do, I'm going to live my life now. And cool, Tiffany.
That's a good one. Yeah, the best time to start is now, where you're at, with zero balance in your savings or $100,000 in your savings. Don't let anybody tell you that they're better than you because they have more money than you, or because they just learn how to manage, or because they can buy whatever it is you're saving for and get a jump start on you. Don't ever feel like you shouldn't do it because you're not where they are. Well, you are where you are, and that's the most important. And a lot of us fail to realize our dreams. We fail to start where we are at the moment because we feel inferior, or you are enough. If you thought it, then it's for you. Move forward. If it fails, then you figure out why it failed and you sharpen all your techniques and then you go for it again. 3 times a charm. That's what I believe. You should never just stop at something. Anything good is never going to be easy. If I have my life to live over, going back, it has nothing to do with money because money comes and goes, and I need it. We need it to move forward. I would
Well,
have
go ahead.
not held
Sorry.
so much resentment towards my
Mm.
mom. That's the one thing I would change. Um, and then moving forward, I've been just learning to just be more loving, I guess. That's the key. More vulnerable. How's that? So, and I think that when we move forward in anything,
So Anna says, I think that comes with each one's mentality. I make shit happen with nothing. The only regrets I have, it's the time wasted with the wrong people. Yes.
mhm,
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
absolutely, you start where you're at
Absolutely.
with what you have. You know, people who walk around with awe, and if you're this type of person, I'm not talking about you, but I've met people with worn out sneakers, dingy jeans, the whitest, brightest smile. Then I met people with name brand everything. And guess what? It's always those. Then you learn later on that the worn out sneakers, no name brand sneakers, is the one who just started a company. So you have to weigh, and it's true. What do you want to waste your time on? What do you want to waste your money on? Do you want to look good to impress people who don't give a shit about you? Or do you want to invest wisely in you, whether it be with the people that you're with, that you choose, whether you choose to drink my coffee, whether you choose to go out and build an empire, or be a part of someone who has the dream that you share and both of you can make it huge. It's all about where's your mentality, what is it that you want to do, and please, by anything, erase the fronting that you need all these name brands, that you need to own this and that so that you can be important. Be important where you are right now, in your pajamas, in your favorite pair of panties that have the holes in it. Just be. That's probably when you get your badass ideas. Never shame anything and be ashamed of anything, and never. So you never have to say, if I have my life to live over. Maybe the only thing you should say is, I should have watched Viva every episode live. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you could be regretting that. Absolutely. For me, I think if I had my life to live over, I would definitely, you said it's not about the money for you, but it's definitely about the money for me. I would have made much wiser choices with my money. I would have made better investments. I would not have spent it on stupid people and stupid things. And I would have really established myself at an early age, because that's always been something for me that I've always wanted to be fiercely independent. I've been fiercely independent with so many things. The only one that has eluded me has been the finances. It's not that I've never made great money. I have, but the money would come, and then I would pretty much just let it just go right down the drain for such stupid stuff. Buying my kids toys that they didn't need, as opposed to experiences, adventures. That would have been, the things that I would have done differently. But that means I still can. So now that's really what I tend to spend the money on now, is the adventures. I put the money into the living part, not something that they don't need. And I've established that with my 8-year-old, where I will ask her, I'll say, really, do you really need this? Like, because we'll get it, and you're going to be like, 2 days later, you're not even going to care about it. So that's the goal, is to
I think that Liza and what Lori was saying, we spend a lot on stupid stuff. I think everybody on here, Anna, we all can say we've done that. But I think sometimes we need to do that in order to learn what not to spend going forward. I think that stupid stuff at that moment didn't feel stupid. It just was foolish, whatever you have. Sometimes, what are you gonna do? It's $5 spent. Like, I don't order Wish, but people be like, I'm gonna get it on Wish. Okay. So we've all, I think, have been there, and purchased something we thought might be. Or, they say in Spanish, lo barato siempre sale caro. So if you spent something because it was cheap, then that's the product you're gonna get, right? So I think,
I wish I met you in the tribe earlier in my life. I truly feel like I have a support system, which I've missed so much. All things happen in time. Thank you for being a part of my
that
life.
that would
Oh,
have been
Tiffany.
beautiful.
Tiffany's such
I
a
can't believe I
sweetie.
was just talking this night how we started right in May, in the middle of the pandemic, and we'll be celebrating 3 years this new year. So that's a beautiful thing for all of us actually to be a part of this tribe. And so if you look back, we just said, let's do it in the middle of a pandemic. We didn't know who was going to be on, but you know what? I want to be guilty of adding smiles to people's Tuesdays and Thursdays morning during one of the worst, scariest times, I guess, in the world in 2020, and getting up there every morning and, worrying about running out of toilet paper, which, which was, I think, the biggest fear back in 2020. And we just said, let's just do it. And here we are. So just get up and do it. I mean, I have friends who purchased their homes this year, away from where they were raised, with no family. They just said, I like this place and now I'm going to stay here.
Yeah.
My sister recently just bought her home, her
Yes,
first
she did.
home.
Yeah.
Um, so people are being less afraid and more active in their lives. And so I think, Anna, shut up. And
Today she does because she has to be quiet. I know
and
it's a little. It's where's your sweater? Where's you gonna put your sweater on and your slippers?
so I'm thinking that when we go out into this new
You
world,
will. You will,
um,
Tiff.
I think Nike says it best. Just do it.
Yes.
And if it fails, listen, Lillian and I, we've been Mary Kay consultants. We've been this and we've been that, and we sold this, and you know, house parties for love gadgets and all this kind of stuff. And people are like, oh, you're always doing something. What are you doing now? Now, anybody else would have gotten offended by that. But we took it as, they're always on top of us. What have you done different in the time space that I did 5 things different? You see, and that's the key. Just don't allow your fear to hold you back from even learning from someone you know, or investing time in learning something different. Bridget works from home and she has her own website. It's just a beautiful thing. And I think that um, we want Tiffany, that's what the Badass Buddha and I would love, is to have a weekend, what do you call it?
We'll do a retreat,
Like a
a Viva
retreat.
Cafe con Leche tribe retreat. Yes.
Yeah. And I think that we have to plan that way in advance so everybody can make arrangements to meet somewhere. And I think that would be a beautiful thing to do
Yes.
that. And it can happen. Why it can happen? Because we say it can happen and we believe it can happen. We believe in Viva Cafe con Leche and in the tribe. And you know what we believe in? That every morning you get up, you have a new opportunity to not write, if I have my life to live over, what would I do? But read Erma Bombeck's every now and again and be reminded that life is short. She was a humorist. I think she died of cancer.
She
But it's
did.
like we learn from people who came before us. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. We don't need to keep falling on our faces. Take the time out to read different genres of people and what they went through and what they have to share in the world. And I think that by us learning from those who paved the way, and because right now I can honestly tell you everything in me, if I had my life to live over, what I learned this past year is to be more forgiving, to love more, and and don't hold space for resentment. And that's what we're doing. That's what me and my personalities are doing. We're not holding resentment. We're going to love more. We're going to accept more. And we're going to go with the flow. And nobody has to agree with me and how I'm doing things and how I'm going to run my
That's you,
businesses.
because that's for you.
It's nobody.
That's right.
And um, we all want to work towards, I think the same type of thing, whereas to invest our money wisely so that we can reap rewards and money can come back to us without us hitting the grind. An investment that is constantly paying you back. And don't be afraid to do that either. I think it's time this year to do something where you invest, you work it a little, and then it comes to you. But I think if I had my life to live over, I'm not even going. That would be the only thing I would. What's the one thing you would, badass? The one
Oh, I
thing.
I said it. I would have set myself up better financially, which would have opened up a lot of other changes in my life. I would have, so the financial piece, I would have been able to travel more. I would have been able to live in different places. When I was younger, I didn't have that fear. When I was in my 20s, I didn't care where I went, where I lived. I moved a lot in my 20s. I lived in, let me see, 4 different states. I traveled a lot, in the United States. I actually didn't travel out of the country in my 20s. I did it before. But, but I would just hop up and just get in my car and go, or I'd just get a plane ticket and just fly. And, um, that I loved about myself, but there was always that little piece that was kind of whole. I still held myself back, but I was also struggled financially in my 20s. I married my first husband that never wanted to work. So I was the one who was always working. And this was before I went to chiropractic school. So I was making just minimum wage jobs or waiting tables. And we barely had enough money half the time to buy, to pay our bills, but we still did stuff, that's the best part about him, was that he was an adventurer. So we were always going somewhere, even if we just hopped in the car. But so that's what I would have done. I would have done that, because I also would have been able to help other people. Like, I remember that one of the biggest thrills I ever had was when I was working and making really good money. My mother had always wanted to go to Hawaii. So when my sister got married, I planned it so that she was going to be out in California anyway. And so I bought her a trip to Hawaii, to go from California to Hawaii, so it wasn't as bad of a flight. And so while she was there, like, I surprised her with it. And the next day after my sister got married, my parents went to Hawaii. And it felt so good to do that, because she'd always wanted to go, and she'd always put everybody else first. But I would have been able to do more of those things. I would have been able to say to my whole entire family, let's all go to Hawaii. Like, I got the money. I rented this really great place. Let's all fly out together. Like, all these little things. And I still want to do that with my kids. I want to be able to take my kids and say, okay, here's what we're doing. Here's what we're doing for Christmas. Here's what we're doing for my birthday. Here's what we're doing for your birthday, and just take them. So that's what I would have changed. I definitely would have done the financial thing differently.
Um, Good. I think, and you see how different tribe that we are. Um, we're different and the same. I mean, I want to be able to gather my grandkids. Not Savannah; she's still too young. I ain't trying to be with the baby, but the other ones, and just go to Greece with them because they want to go to Greece and Morocco and just do those things with my older grandkids. But other than that, no. If I had my life to live over, I would be more peaceful, more serene, instead of angry and so reactive. Being a volcano is and a tsunami and a cyclone for the most part of your life. It's very
All wrapped
exhausting.
into one.
And I say that with the utmost sincerity, that it is very
Yes.
exhausting to have lived a life where I was always alert on that. And living on survival mode is very exhausting. And
Yes.
so I'm glad I'm not there. So if I had my life to live over, I would have been more. Um,
Thank you
and
for
it all
sharing
started
that.
with mom. So I would have hugged my mom more and resented her less in a child's mentality. And that's it. And then today would have been a bit different because that yearning inside, that missing part of the person that's supposed to love and protect you, when that's missing, nothing else really matters. So if that would have been in play, my life would have taken a different course. But here I am, it's loving myself, loving, you know, that I got the opportunity to do that, and loving that right now it's life is can only get better from where I'm sitting. And it's gonna get better. Why? Because I'm making the moves to make it better. And then it'll unfold and flow like a river as it should when all is right with this. So
That
that's
was
my goal.
beautiful. Thank you for sharing that
Your
because
friend
that
Anna wants to go to Greece. Let's go, mama.
yeah, yeah. Thank you for sharing that though, because that was some seriously deep shit. You're right. It is exhausting to live that life.
Hmm.
And it's also exhausting to not live the life that you want to live because you let other people dictate too. Like two extreme ends, but yet both of them very exhausting. If you're a people pleaser and you're always worrying about everybody else and what they think and not being you, that's exhausting just as it is to hold in that anger. And so maybe that's the lesson here for the end here. This is to just take stock, look back, were you living the life that you really wanted to live? If you say if I had to live my life over again, that's a great indicator that you weren't. If there's some things that you wanted you would change, that's a good indicator that you were not living the life. And then the question comes into play is, are you still living that life? Is your life good? Is your life not good? Is your life great? And if it's good, can it be great? What can you do to make it great? Now, what can you change today? If it's not good, then you do need to change, and you need to figure out what it is that needs to change. You know,
And then
um,
change it. The word change should never be um, redundant in your life.
yes,
Change, I want to change to make a better change, to live out the changes that I've made in my changed life. It's never redundant. You cannot say it enough. And the more you say it, the more you will do it. Because everything begins and ends with you. You can blame whomever you want if that's the way you want to choose to live your life. But it's nobody's fault. It's not your mama's. It's not my mama's fault. It's not. It's your fault. So change is change, 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 and want that change. We're never too old. I just turned 53. I'm like, I'm never too old to want to do things different. And
yeah.
because change begins with you. Because your regrets in the if I had my life to live over, what would I do different? They were because of the choices you made, not anyone around you.
Look at Anna.
So
I could
Anna,
listen to you
shut
all
up. Again, there is nothing that you cannot do. Look at me. Oh my God, I could listen to you.
She's got that relaxing, right? It's like you just want to listen to her while you sleep kind of deal.
But see, anything can change. You make this isn't even a sacrifice that I'm making. It's just honoring that there's a family sleeping 2 rooms away from me. I'm in California, so there's a family
Do a
sleeping in the
drawing
living
show
room.
with oh God, she's still Bob Ross. That's who she reminds you of, Bob Ross. Oh my God, that's so funny. Somebody said that she it was like Mr. Rogers. She's like Mr.
Listen,
Rogers this morning.
Anna and I have been friends, what, 23 years, Anna? 22, 23 years. Yeah, she's seen me in all my chaos, in all the volcanic state, the tsunami state, the cyclone state. She's never seen me in this state. That's why she can't get over it. Change is good, mama. And it's about living longer and living healthier
Yep.
and wanting, wanting, wanting to be able to say, I'm building my savings account, I'm building an investment account, I'm building my business so that I can leave a legacy. So let's do this. Let's do this together, right, badass? Oh my God, it's almost time to
Mm-hmm.
say goodbye. Anakipa. So now I went from Mr. Rogers to Bob Ross.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Well, we thank everybody for coming on today. It was mellow. It was a mellow conversation, but a necessary conversation. This is the point of what we do. We want, it's never too late to change. Don't feel funny. Don't say, oh, it's too late, or I'm too old, or why bother? Why not? Like, why wait for some horrific news that makes you want to say, I got to do this now, or forget it, it's too late. It's never too late. It's,
Exactly.
go down without don't go down without a fight, but you don't have to fight it if you don't want to. Like, just make it happen. So
Fight
so
it if you have to.
what
You
can
you know
you do in the
you
next
should
2 weeks?
fight. Sometimes you need that
True.
that blood to boil for you to say, what am I doing? And then laugh about it. But sometimes we need to take ourselves right to that rim. We've allowed so many people to take us there, and it leaves us confused and exhausted. They took our energy, they got the best of us. Bring yourself up to that boiling point. Find out truly what you're made of in and out. And you know what, Liza? We all spent on bullshit, and then we
Yeah.
all laughed about it, and then we all shared it and gave it away to somebody who could have put it to better use. So, really, in the end, did we lose? No, a couple dollars here and there, but I've always give stuff away, so it's like I don't throw stuff away. So, like anybody can tell you, anybody who's come to my house, they always left with something. Oh, listen, I got this. This might look like you can serve. There's some people like, I don't want no more margin, but I will never give my books away. People like, can I read this? No, you can sit down and read it here, and that's it. That's it.
That's your value. That's why
But
that's a value
bring
to you.
yourself to that people like, oh, you're just gonna bring me to the bring yourself there. Find out what you're made of inside and out. It's not only about the good stuff and the meditation and the breathing and the namaste and telling people, oh, hi, hi, hi. No, take yourself. We talked about this. It's about being ridiculously curious about what you don't like, what you like, and what you ultimately love. And sometimes we discover that what we ended up loving was something that was on our dislike list. But you're not going to know that unless you discover who the hell you are, where
Yes.
you are right now in this moment, this November 30th, 2021. We're not the same people we were in 2020. So now you got to do the rediscovering. So do that. Spend less, love more, hug, kiss, hug a tree.
That's right.
Share Viva Cafe con Leche. Just do it. Nike.
But if you're going to spend on our small business brag businesses that we highlight. So our tribe members
Yes.
that are going to come on that. So we're starting Thursday. Bridget Williams is going to be our first person. And right at the beginning of the show, we're going to start our small business brag up until the very last show before Christmas. So definitely, support our local small business owners, and especially our tribe members. And don't forget, Gladiator Guru and I are also small business owners. We have products, we have services. Definitely spread the word. We could always use more clients. We could always sell more products. Go on, go on, go on. So we don't give ourselves a brag enough, but we definitely would appreciate the love. So I guess that's it for today, Gladiator Guru. What do you think?
That's it. That's it. I think, Liza, we all could have had a condo on the beach in Florida. Not now. But yes, thank you. Anita, you made my day. You made my day because I thought I just couldn't hear me. See, I felt really that you just couldn't hear me.
Next
So
time, come with the
gracias.
afro. Come with the
Gracias.
afro and just do paint.
And then you
You are
make a
an artist,
tree.
right?
And then you make a
So
tree and gracias a ti, milagro. Okay. So
All right, everyone. So we'll see you on Thursday. And Thursday is Hit It Up Style with Tracy Pullman. We're going to go into finding your style and creating it for success. So thank you all for coming on today. And that's it. So enjoy the rest of your week. We'll see you Thursday. And from the Badass Buddha, remember, be you, be real, and be extraordinary.
Yes, and remember, love yourself a little more today. Hug yourself, kiss yourself, remind yourself of how great you are. And while you're doing that, breathe in the beauty and breathe out the bullshit. Namaste.
Namaste from Badass Buddha and Bob Rossi. Bye, everyone.